Today we're going to see the release of unemployment data. Now, this is super conflicting data because on one hand, higher unemployment means a weaker labor market, which bodes well for a rate cut by the Fed and increase of liquidity, and a thing that a lot of crypto lovers want to see pumped, which is liquidity. And on the other hand, a stronger labor market, in other words, not as bad unemployment numbers, means that we have a better consumer sentiment, more jobs, which means more money in people's pocket, which means potentially more people that can invest in crypto. So which one of these two things has a stronger indicator, is a stronger correlation with pumping of crypto? So that's what we're going to talk about today very briefly. So with that, please know that every single day in crypto is an adventure, and I would love for you to join me along the ride. So make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you like what you see, hit the like button. And with that, let's get right into this chart right here. This is a correlation between unemployment rate and Bitcoin price. And it's really like we're breaking it down to two very simple pieces of data, the price of Bitcoin and the unemployment rate, when in reality, there's so many other things going on in the macro picture. So I put one other thing on there, and that's the recession we had due to COVID. So if you look at this number, here is the unemployment rate, and it was going down, 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 down. We reached like a super low, and then it shot up because of COVID. We shot up in the beginning of 2020. Due to COVID and people laying people off like crazy in the service industry and things like that. Now look at the price of Bitcoin. As unemployment dropped, Bitcoin slowly rose. Slow rise. And then we have this recession, and it popped up, and it came down with unemployment, and it went back up with employment. So with this, you could draw probably a pretty clear correlation. If you were just looking at these two things together, you could draw a pretty clear correlation that with unemployment dropping, the price of Bitcoin dropped. And with unemployment rising all ever so slightly, that the price of Bitcoin shot up. Now, that's not a very fair picture because we know there's lots of other things that happened during this time. We talked about if the unemployment numbers are weaker, unemployment goes up, that Bitcoin goes up, mostly because of the fact that the Fed might intervene and lower the interest rates. Now, the Fed did lower the rates at the end of 2024, and we saw them lowered, I think it was it December of 24? No, it was before the election. So it was several months back, and then Bitcoin did shoot up a bit, but it also shot up after President Trump was elected due to, the favorable environment that people thought would be created for crypto. Whether that happened or not, that's still yet to be seen to some degree, right? We know that there's a lot of positive things in the administration for crypto, but neither here nor there. Now, I will tell you a much better indicator, as everyone has alluded to, is the global supply of money. Now, this is the global supply of liquidity through the central bank versus the market cap of crypto. And look, as this is the gray is the global supply of liquidity through the central bank. As you see, this goes up, crypto goes up. As it goes down, crypto goes down. It shoots up. Look at crypto. It is super heavily correlated. Now, here's something that's a little difficult to explain, but you see crypto came down when the global supply of money did not come down, and then it kind of shot back up. So maybe this averages out to be on this line. But then look at this, as crypto goes down, so does the global supply of money, and one didn't start before the other. This one started slightly before the other, but this one shot down at a very high rate. So it does have a very, 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 very high correlation between the global supply of money and the crypto market cap. So I do think that a bad unemployment number is as much as, when I say bad, greater unemployment and more unemployment, which, obviously people lose jobs because of this. No one really wants to see that. But the reality is that would increase the Fed's chance of lowering rates. Obviously, their main holdup right now is tariffs, and I believe the Fed is acting very partisanly. That's my opinion. I could be wrong. Shoot me comments down below. But right now, I look at them being speculative on the tariffs because the data is not supporting their narrative yet. yet. But they're not speculative. They usually look in the rear view mirror, the Federal Reserve, to whether they're going to lower rates or raise rates. They typically don't look ahead and are not speculative. But right now they're being very speculative and guessing that the tariffs will rise costs. Now, whether they will or won't, yet to be seen. But most people will agree that the tariffs will rise costs if they're not dealt with soon. That being said, that is the correlation is greater with liquidity versus the unemployment rate, but the unemployment rate is a trailing or a preliminary indicator of whether the rates will be lowered to pump liquidity back in the markets, to pump up price of your crypto and your bags. And right now, I mean, we have Bitcoin hovering right around $97,000 mark, and it is the Bitcoin dominance is through the roof right now. I mean, Bitcoin dominance is, let me pull up a chart for you. Nope, not going to do that right now. So Bitcoin dominance is through the roof. It's pushing 96%. I mean, 65%, gosh, 65%, and it is through the roof. And there's a lot of money being attracted to Bitcoin through the ETFs, through sovereign nations, because of crypto, Bitcoin strategic reserves, things like that. The cities, counties, countries, companies, individuals. It's crazy how much money is pumping into Bitcoin right now. And if you look at the inflows, yesterday we had about $450 million of inflows. We only had like $45 million in negative inflows the day before that. And we had 8 days of positive inflows before that into the ETF. So money is flowing into Bitcoin. The word is getting out, and it's very exciting to watch. But I will tell you, at some point, that money flows back to the altcoins, and we have alt season. And I still think that's on track for this year. Now, it's been a bit delayed, but that's okay. The longer the delay, the bigger the pump. That's my opinion. I'm not your financial advisor. This is certainly not financial advice. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch up with you next time.